Okay, and last but not least, Systems of Sanity. So many of you know this is a local organisation, and I'm going to, of course, let Robin Davidson tell you about this organisation, which is Rebus Theatre, which has been contributing significantly in this town for many years now. Robin Davidson is coming up here. He's the Artistic Director of Rebus Theatre. He's a Canberra champion, and I should say that Rebus Theatre is an award-winning mixed ability theatre company for social change, and he's sharing the stage with Bianca. And is Melissa here as well? No? Okay. And to discuss the work of the game-changing Rebus and your two-year project, which is Systems of Sanity. Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thank you. I'd like to start with a line and a practice that I've got from Extinction Rebellion, which is that we start everything by doing nothing. So I'd like to invite you to just take a moment, close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing that, and just notice your breathing. And notice whatever other sensory input is coming in. Sound, the sensation of your body on the seat, any movement of the air. And from this space, I'd like to invite you to be aware of where and when we are. That we are quite high up in the air right now, above Ngunnawal and Ngambri country. We're quite close to what is now Lake Burley Griffin. That was the bark canoe highway for this area inland, which has been a meeting place for many different First Nations peoples for a very, very long time. I pay my respects to the elders of those First Nations who have known this country, those who have walked this land in times long past, those who walk with us today, and those who will be walking on this land in the future. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge the lived experience of mental ill health in this room. That we all have experiences of emotional distress, of extreme states. Some of us in this room have had those experiences diagnosed. Some of us have had personal interactions with the mental health system. Some of us have not. Yeah. But that experience of distress informs all of us, and we've all learned from it, and we've all gained resilience and meaning from it. So, as Kathy said, my name is Robin. I'm the Artistic Director of Rebus Theatre. We are a local Canberra-based company. We turned 10 years old in December of this year. We have two main aims. One is to provide pathways for artists from marginalised communities to move from, into being audience members, to community participants, to becoming emerging artists, and to be a centre for excellence in applied theatre practice. So for those not familiar with the term, applied theatre has come out of academia, in the last 20 years or so. It's the use of theatre practice, process and performance to address social issues. We do a whole range of projects. I'll speak a little bit more about some of the other things we do at the end, but Kathy's asked us specifically to speak today about Systems of Sanity, which is a project which reached culmination a few weeks ago. I would just at this point like to I would like to introduce Bianca Jerd, who's going to speak with me. So Bianca is an international facilitator and outdoor educator and an actor with lived experience of mental ill health in the Systems of Sanity project. I'll just say a couple more things about the background to Systems of Sanity, and then I'll hand over to Bianca to talk about her experience of being an actor in that project. The project was funded by ACT Health. It was funded as a 2-year project, and our original aim was to create 2 pieces of theatre with actors with lived experience over a 2-year period. Our first rehearsals were organised to happen the week after the Delta lockdown started. And as a result, both of the Delta lockdown itself and the ongoing impact of COVID on the company, we made the decision to only create 1 show over the 2-year period. The funding for the project was mostly, the language of the grant application that we were funded for was largely around the positive impact that we could have on the lives of individual people with lived experience of mental ill health. We twisted some of that to put into our application and into what we wanted to be, what we were evaluating is also the impact on the wider community, on the capacity of a project like this to bust stigma, and to influence the way people with lived experience of mental ill health are perceived, both by their own immediate community and by policymakers. I was extremely surprised that we actually got 5 members of the ACT Legislative Assembly to come and see the show live, which was I don't know exactly why we were so successful in doing that, but it was quite extraordinary. And the conversations which we managed to have with them after is that it was very impactful upon them. But at this point, I think I'd like to hand over to Bianca to talk about her experience of being a part of the process.
Thank you, Robin. Oh, I'm very short, so I'm going to move this around. Okay, and probably stand here. Does that still sound right? Great. Thank you for having me on the stage to speak in front of you all. So, as Robin mentioned, I was one of the participants in the Systems of Sanity project. When I found Rebus, just a little bit of background. So, what do you do when you're at the peak of your career? You're being paid to travel around the world and take people on adventures. I just thought to myself, I'd better start a family. So I did. I've got 2 young boys who are fabulous. And somewhere in that process, I found myself with another surprise package, which was finding out that my life story and background as I had known it was kind of like the children's story version of that. And the impact of finding that out while I was juggling infants, toddlers, and then lockdowns was quite significant. So I went from being quite confident, comfortable, to really, I forgot how to talk to people, in essence. And I'm sure a number of other people experienced that for their own reasons during the lockdowns. But I also forgot how to leave the front door and found myself in a really difficult position. So I said to myself again, what do you do when you forget how to talk to people and walk out the front door? You join a theatre company, of course. I can't quite remember how I heard about them, but I'm really grateful that I did. When I started with Systems of Sanity, I wasn't really clear of what it was or what my place was in the program. And as time went along, I did remember how to talk to people. And it took a while, to be honest, a really long while. But one of the challenges that I found as we were all talking about, and not only me, I have to acknowledge, there was many of us in the group, that I really found it difficult to express those stories without directly expressing those stories. And the beauty of the play aspect of theatre is that we got to experiment and embody different ways of expressing things in a really safe environment where everybody was participating. It wasn't directly about you, yet you could have your input and see what happened, which was just beautiful, a beautiful process. And then when we finally got to the point where it's like, okay, let's put something up on stage, I went to Robin and Mel, who's not here, and I said, I have an idea and I don't know how it's going to work. You know, I want to put it on stage, but there's no speaking in it. There's only music and some shiny balls moving around the place. And can we make that happen? And of course they said, yes, let's do that. And you're just about to see the result of that. And I'll give you a little bit more background. What I liked most about seeing this actually happen on stage is that the feedback that I got from the audience, seeing this particular piece that I designed, was so individual for every person. They got something out of it for themselves that spoke to their own experiences and lived experience. And you know, I know the background of that for me, and that was significant and important to express. Yet seeing what everybody else got out of it was also just as important. So I guess this is, yeah, let's have a look.
Okay. Give me a second.
Tech person speeding up.
Thank you. Lights, camera, action. That went theatre.
Oh.
We do now. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. And let's just go. So we've just got a slideshow of images from this piece that Bianca created. Thank you. I'm going to step away from here, come out here. I'm a firm believer that we think differently when we move our bodies. Indeed, I think one of the problems our entire society has is that most of our decisions are made sitting down without moving our bodies. I want to play a quick game. This is a game which originally came to me through the improv scene, and that we used extensively in our devising process. And it's very simple. I would probably write without that, I think. Yeah. And so it's a game where anyone can come up and actually no, we'll use the stage. Yeah, let's use the stage itself. Anyone is welcome to come up and participate. No one has to. It's very simple. I'm going to begin. Actually, do you want to begin? Do you want to be our tree? Okay. So we begin by someone standing in the middle of our stage and saying,
I am the tree.
and now someone else who is feeling brave, because it takes bravery. The first person, after that, takes much less bravery for everyone else, to come up on stage and be something else which might be in the same picture as the tree, and say what it is.
I am the mycelium.
Oh, we've got a nerdy audience here. Excellent. Yep.
I am the bird.
And we have one more person in our image.
I am the ether.
But it's frozen still. And then the person who started first, in this case Bianca, is going to say who gets to stay.
Was a very tough decision, but the ether can
The
stay.
ether can stay. Everyone else leaves and the ether stays. And then we repeat, I am the ether.
I am the ether. I am the prayer, the ether.
I am the power of thought.
One more.
I am the memory. Memory stays.
The memory stays. Okay. We move the memory back to the centre of the stage so we don't fall off the edge. Yep. And repeat.
I am the memory. I am the person struggling to reach the memory. I am nostalgia.
Get a head start.
I'm anxiety. Anxiety can stay.
Go again. So you repeat?
I'm anxiety.
Oh.
That me. I am overwork.
Oops.
I'm clumsy.
What did he say?
I am the diagnosing psychiatrist.
And who stays?
Oh, I'm clumsy.
I just need to get my. I am clumsy.
Can we actually have I am clumsiness? It's like I'm just tweaking here, but it makes it better when it's a noun. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bumpy brown.
I'm not sure we all heard that. Can we hear that one more time loudly?
A bumpy ground.
I am the urban designer.
And who stays?
The urban designer.
This will be our last one. Yeah.
I am the urban designer.
I am the red tape. I am the request for mobility awareness.
I am the crack in the pavement.
And I would choose to stay the red tape.
I want to just draw your awareness to the fact that very quickly, like, it's a stupid game. Yeah, it's really silly. But very quickly, we got to talking about what we want to talk about. Yeah, in just a few images, we started talking about mental health, urban design, and all the issues we've been talking about today. And this will inevitably happen in this kind of work, that once we engage the body, once we engage playfulness, we come to talking about the things that we need to talk about. I have about 3 minutes by my watch, so I will I'd just like to talk for a moment about some of the other projects which we run with Rebus Theatre. So at the moment we run 3 classes a week, of social recreational drama classes for adults with intellectual disability. We are doing a very large project, bushfire recovery project, working across 5 local government areas, where really largely what we're doing in that project is resourcing and supporting artists from each of those local government areas to create the work that they want to create and that they feel is relevant and needed in their own communities. And that has included walks on country that are punctuated by visual arts activities. It's included this amazing community dance artist from Bega called Micah Mahani, who is doing a thing that is called Princesses of Planting, which involves combining Disney princess power dance routines with tree planting. Community music workshops on the beach in Malakuta. And yeah, I won't keep listing, but there's a whole range of different community arts projects happening across these 5 local government areas that have all been bushfire affected. We are also doing a project called Just Hearing, which is using interactive theatre, forum theatre for those who know that model, as a way of teaching lawyers about how to interact better with people with lived experience of mental ill health. And we are just about to start work on a large main stage production which is going to take place next year with a cast of disabled actors, which will be about whatever that cast, once we finally assemble it, wants it to be about. We run an annual school holiday program in filmmaking for LGBTQIA plus young people, and we're also doing a regional filmmaking project for disabled actors from Bega, Goulburn, Queanbeyan and Braidwood, where it was originally, it's another COVID impacted project. Originally it was going to be a live theatre project bringing actors together for a series of residency rehearsals to create a show together. As a result of the impacts of COVID, we're not able to do that, but instead we are doing an amazing process where we're creating a film which is being kind of scripted by people in different areas and shot without them actually meeting each other in person until the end, into a unified storyline. I think those are kind of, well, I can, Oh, playlist. Yeah, we also, yes, of course. We, as part of the Bushfire Recovery Project, Project Alchemy, we did a series of playback theatre performances across the fire-affected LGAs. So playback theatre is a form where members of the audience tell moments and stories from their own lives, and actors and musicians improvise that back on the spot. And we're now growing and developing that playback theatre company, which will be available for commissions in the near future. That's a broad brushstroke of what we do. We thrive on partnerships, so if anyone would like to talk to us, yeah, we are at rebustheatre.com. Thank you.